Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So it's Monday, which means it's decorating day. And more to the point, this week is even more exciting than normal because it's grand final week, which in my world is the most important week of the entire year. Just so exciting. And more to the point, for the first time in, I think they said 65 years or something like that, the Western Bulldogs have made the grand final. So I'm very excited for them. So what we're going to do this week, if you guys remember back to last year, which I don't know how many of you guys will, but if you want to go back and have a look at it, I'll link it down below. I did a whole grand final week kind of theme, and I'm going to do the same thing again this year. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the colours of the two competing teams. So what I've done is I've just taken some images off Google. So that's what these two are, and then these are some Brownlow medals that we're going to decorate with as well. And then I've just used Photoshop to pick the colours of the colours, so I can get the colours exactly right, and then I can cut strips of washi tape from these. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So to start with, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the two logos out and one of the Brownlow medals, and then I'm going to cut these into strips and measure them up. That's going to take a little while, so I'm going to speed through all of this, and I'll be back in just a second. Got all the bits and pieces cut out, you can see I've got a lot of strips of colour, and then I've got my logos. So all I'm going to do is run the strips across the top and the bottom. So the Sydney ones are red and white, so they go red and white. No, wrong way, that way. Red and white. And the ones on the top are just a little bit thicker, and that's just because the top lends itself to being a little bit thicker. Got red, white and blue for the dogs. I have a feeling that blue might be a little bit too thick, so I might trim that up a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stick all these down. Basically I'm just using normal old glue tape to do this. It's not anything particularly hard, it was just I couldn't find washi tape in these colours, so rather than trying to find them I just made them myself to a certain extent. So I'm going to go ahead and stick all these down, and I'll be back in just a minute. So what I'm doing, just to cut into the speeding here, I'm lining the colours up with the bottom dots, because we know that these aren't always particularly straight, these pages. I'm not using the bottom of the page to line it up, I'm actually using the dots on the page instead, and I think that makes it look a little bit more square. And you can overlap, you don't have to, but I'm overlapping these pieces so that they fit to where I want them to sit, as opposed to letting them come further up the page. So this is being completely lined up with the dots on the page to make it look square. can see with this one, I've gone too far above, and I think I have a little bit with this one as well. That's okay. I'm just going to use my paper trimmer to fix that up in just a second. So once you've got all the little bits and pieces cut off, just grab your paper trimmer back in and just use it to trim off the excess. So because I have left this so late, so I knew which teams were actually playing in the grand final, I have actually already started doing next week's decoration. So I've just hidden it so you guys can't see it when I flip this over. So excuse that, you can kind of get a mini glimpse of what it looks like, but I don't want to give it all away yet. So I'm just going to hide it from you a little bit while I trim this next bit up. Alrighty, so there we go. That's what it looks like once it's all stuck down. Oh, that blue doesn't look good. Alrighty, let's see if we can do a little bit of rearranging here. So the good thing with this particular glue tape is that it's not a permanent tape. It definitely gives you a little bit of leniency, and it'll let you play with it a little bit as long as you're careful. Okay. That's better. We'll fix this up. This is easy to do. I just got to be a little bit more precise now though, because my paper's cut to exactly the right width, so I've got to make sure it lines up. Nothing is ever completely broken. You can always fix it. And if worse comes to worse, I've got plenty of paper, I can make more. And I kind of like that now. That looks, because it kind of looks old. I don't know how to explain what that looks like, but I like it. It's a good effect. Anyway, all fixed now. Except for one teeny tiny little thing, which is just going to bug me. There. Now she's fixed. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rub out all of my little bits and pieces here so that I can stick all these other bits down. So I will do that and I'll be back in just a sec. Alrighty, so let's start off with some netball stickers. So I'm just jumping into my sticker planner. I also want my little footies because I'm going to use them this week too. So I'm just grabbing some netballs out of here. Oops. So we'll put the netball on Monday like it needs to be and on Sunday like it needs to be. So then we're going to put the logos are going to sit just in here, just sort of like as Swans v Bulldogs. It'll look, when it's finished it'll make sense, but it's just, if you look at the way that footy games are usually presented, it's usually one versus the other, and that's kind of what I'm going for here, that sort of thing. And I'm trying to avoid the holes if I can. So those ones are now stuck down as well as my netball stickers. So then I'm just going to go ahead and write in all the little details that I need to write in, and I'll be back in just a sec. I'm on this side of the page, I'm going to put down the Brownlow medal. So I'm not going to run it through the sticker maker because it's just not worth it for just one of them. So I'm just going to stick that just up here and just write in Brownlow medal. I'm just going to write it in black as opposed to in red. So what I'm doing is everything on the Swan side is being written in red because I can't write in white, unfortunately. And everything on the Bulldog side will be written in blue and red because I can't write in white. But the Brownlow is kind of important. That's an awful black. So I'm going to write that in a different colour to kind of signify it. Why do I have hundreds and hundreds of pens, but not one of them is actually useful? That's better. I'm just going to write it down a little bit lower just because I've got some plans for something up here. Footy, just gonna, I'm just gonna put it just there and just write Grand Final Day just underneath where the Kikki.k Diary Lovers Club is. I'm kind of annoyed that that's there. It's kind of making me angry. But anyway, I think I'm gonna write that in black too, just so that it's not team orientated. So that is all of the writing done. So just as a bit more of a decoration, I'm just going to put this footy down as well. And I'm just going to have it, kind of want to do it like it's been kicked, so I'd like do little lines, but I don't know if it'll look any good, but I'm going to do it anyway. Looks a bit silly, but I get what it means. And then the last thing I'm going to do, just because this looks a little plain because it is white and unfortunately you can't do anything about that with teams like Sydney, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp out, just using these little stamps from Kikki.k. I'm just going to stamp out Grand Final Week to put it on the top, but just because I really suck at stamping, I'm going to do it on another piece of paper, cut them out and stick them down because I'm really, really, really terrible at stamping. Awful. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and I'll be back in just a second. Now that that's all stamped, I'm just going to cut it out. Then we're just going to stick these down just using glue tape again, if I can find it. There it is. So I'm just going to put the one that says final down first because I want that to be in the middle, or as close to the middle as I can make it. There we go. I think I'm going to leave it just like that. It's certainly busy enough. There's a lot happening this week. Not using anything Kikki.k. That's like 3 weeks with just one in the middle that I haven't used anything from. Oh, hold on. Yes, I did. I used the stamps. Damn it! I was really excited then. I thought I'd done a whole week again with no Kikki.k, but I don't think the stamps count. I don't think they count. Anyway, that is my grand final week, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big old thumbs up. I do weekly decorations every single Monday, so if you do like these kinds of videos, I would encourage you to subscribe. I love hearing from you guys too, so if you'd like to send me a message or a Facebook or an Instagram or a Snapchat, I will link all of those down below for you so you can. I hope you guys have an absolutely awesome grand final week. If your team is involved, if your team's in the NRL and it's either the Storm or the Sharks, I think, I hope whichever team you're going for has a win. If you're going in the AFL, I hope the Bulldogs win. I'm not even sending you luck if you're a Swans supporter. You don't need it, but the Dogs do. So if you're not going for the Swans, I encourage you to jump on the Dogs bandwagon, which is fairly and squarely where I am. Hope you have a great week, guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye! Hey everyone, just a little quick note on the end of this one. I was talking to the Kikki.k online chat app this morning, and this Paper Lovers book, there's been a little bit of conjecture as to if it was going to come out online or not. It is coming online. It will be online in the next 2 weeks or so. So keep an eye out on the website. I'm going to be doing the same thing, and as soon as it's up, I will let you guys know where you can go to find it. If you haven't already, go and check this walkthrough out. It is seriously one of the best Paper Lovers books I've ever brought out. I love it. I'm getting 2. As soon as the other one, they're out online, I'll be getting another one. But rush out and grab it in store if you can. Otherwise, they'll be online very, very soon. Bye!